Patients don't feel seen or heard. That's when they go online to leave a review, because most of the time patients don't do this in a malicious way. I know it can kind of be how it feels. Most of the time people simply want to run their complaints up the chain to someone in management because they didn't feel like they had the opportunity, or they didn't feel like we cared to know.
Welcome to Success Confidentials.
9 minutes every week that'll level up your practice. If you're a healthcare visionary obsessed with patient experience, team culture, marketing, and growth, you're in the right place.
We are too. We're Lauren
and Christine,
the patient whisperers. We worked together for 4 years as leaders in a real premium practice.
We did not play in the traditional healthcare sandbox and believe human emotions drive all success, and it really, really worked. We grew our cash pay practice an average 60% year over year.
And on social media, we grew our followers from 1,000 to 14,000 in just 2 years, generating millions in annual revenue from social media alone.
So now we're out here sharing what made us wildly successful so you can be too.
Let's have some fun.
Let's dive in. Last week, we were speaking at a conference and we were on a panel, and one of the hot topics was online reviews. It's something we all deal with in a healthcare practice.
And this one question can really deter patients from leaving a negative review, which is an absolute game changer for us in practice.
The other thing about this question is it will tell you everything you need to know about your patient experience so you can continue to make it even better.
And what we're talking about is the difference between how was your experience? How was everything today?
Which is what a lot of us ask. You know, it can be kind of a standard. How was everything today? The problem is a lot of times it's also the way we're saying it. So we don't love that verbiage, but also a lot of times we say it in kind of a monotone, check the box, this is something I'm supposed to say kind of way, which does not make the patient feel actually invited to share their opinion or feedback.
And what we can replace this with is something along the lines of, we would love your feedback. What could we do differently to make your experience better?
Why this is so important to really ask the question the right way and say it with a genuine, I want to know attitude is because when patients don't feel seen or heard, that's when they go online to leave a review, because most of the time patients don't do this in a malicious way. I know it can kind of be how it feels. Most of the time people simply want to run their complaints up the chain to someone in management because they didn't feel like they had the opportunity, or they didn't feel like we cared to know. So when we do a good job in practice of making sure patients feel like we want their feedback and we care and we want to know, they're going to take it straight to us versus taking it public online.
Let's underline how important this is. 72% of patients use online reviews as a first step when they're trying to find a doctor.
And 49% of people trust online reviews just as much or more than recommendations by friends and family members.
It's shocking.
Yeah.
And studies show that over 60% of people say they have avoided a doctor because of negative reviews.
Studies also show that one single negative review, if we perceive it as truly negative to the practice, can drive away up to 22% of your potential patients. Oh my God.
So when we give our patients the opportunity to really share their feedback with us in an inviting way, it keeps the feedback direct and internal versus public, and it gives us the opportunity to resolve it as well.
So one thing we trained teams on, and we actually worked with the team last week on this in person, was how to read our patients' body language and pick up on nonverbal cues, which is, according to studies on body language and communication, 93% of how people communicate with us is non-verbally.
And body language experts say that our nonverbal cues really fall into 2 categories, showing comfort or discomfort.
And we know from personal experience, most patients, pretty much everybody, is not just going to come out and offer up information and say, hey, this disappointed me, I'm dissatisfied with this. They're not going to just start complaining and come across as a Karen, because people don't naturally like to do that. People naturally avoid confrontation. So if we are not diligent to specifically ask our patients, what could be better? We're not going to know. And then we all know that feeling when we see that negative review pop up and we go, what? I didn't even know this patient was upset. We can't let that happen. As always, we have takeaways. What are our takeaways today?
First, we cannot expect our team to naturally have the soft skills to be able to read our patient's body language and know how to ask in a way that makes patients feel seen and heard.
Just like technical skills, these are skills that people need trained on. And then also train them with what to do when a patient does give feedback or does have things that have disappointed them. How do we handle that with ease and grace? Investing in our team is one of the best financial investments we can make in our practice, especially when you look at those statistics we just shared and understand how much revenue bad reviews online can take away from your practice. If we can help you with anything related to today's topic, use the link to schedule a free 30-minute synergy session just for new practices.
For our existing practice clients, you already know where to find us.
Now we want to hear from you. What resonated? What other topics are hot for you right now? We want to know all about it in the comments.
We're just a comment away, so if you have any questions, we personally respond to all comments and DMs. If you're not subscribed yet, make it easy on yourself to see new episodes and reference topics that are helpful by hitting the subscribe button.